Hi everyone, it's Blake again. As you can see, it's absolutely beautiful out right now. It's about 10 degrees Fahrenheit. As you can see, it's snowing, and there's a pretty brisk wind coming off the lake. I'm gonna guess 15-20 miles an hour. We haven't looked this up yet, but I'm gonna guess with wind chill it's around 0. I kind of want a fire, so I think today I'm gonna talk to you about making fires. Obviously, there's a lot of ways to make fires. You can use gas and a lighter, you can use newspaper and matches, but there's more fun, more traditional, and more sustainable ways to do it. We've got the bow drill here, which is one of our more common methods of fire starting in the bushcrafting world. You've got your hearth board here, you've got your bearing block, your spindle, and your bow. I'm not going to actually do this, but you load the spindle into the bow. The spindle goes in the hole in the bearing block, and you spin. You create friction, which creates heat, which creates a spark. You've also got the hand drill, which is one of my favorite methods. It's super simple. There's only 2 parts involved. Your materials have to be perfect and your technique has to be perfect. But all you do is you put the hand drill in the hole and you spin. Eventually, it gets warm enough that it creates an ember. You make your fire. Then there's the Ferro rod. That's this guy right here. You've probably seen these. You've probably heard it called a Flint and steel. That's wrong. This is a ferrocerium rod or ferro rod. It's an oxide of magnesium, iron, and several other ingredients that when you strike it with a hard edge, it creates a very hot spark. These are very popular in the survival world. They're great for starting fires, but it's not what I want to talk about today. What I want to talk about today is my favorite fire starting method, and that's the Flint and steel. It's a piece of hardened high carbon steel and a piece of high silica content stone, quartz, flint, chert, something like that. So what you do is you strike the steel against the stone, and what happens is the sharp edge of this stone actually shaves pieces of steel off. We'll talk about this more in a second, but with your Flint and steel, we're going to use char cloth today, which is charred denim or linen or cotton. It's a fabric that you've cooked all of the non-carbon elements out of. So all that's left is essentially cloth charcoal. Now, if you don't have char cloth, you can use several things. You can use burnt chaga, burnt amadou, you can use burnt cedar bark, you can use burnt cattail fluff. All these things have in common that you need something burnt to start with, which is the downfall of the Flint and steel. But that doesn't stop the fact that it is my favorite method of fire starting. When I was about 12 years old, I was in the Boy Scouts, and I had moved to a new town. I didn't know a lot of people. In my Boy Scout troop, I was studying, I believe it was Native American history for a merit badge. And the scout leader sent me to a man named Wad Miller, who very rapidly became a mentor to me. He became a very, very important figure in my life. And to this day, he remains one of the most important people in my development. Him and I talked a lot about a lot of things, but one of the things we talked about was the Flint and steel. He let me borrow one of his, he sent it home to me, and he kind of showed me how to use it, and I spent weeks trying to perfect my method. And I did. I got really good at it, and that was 28 years ago. To this day, the Flint and steel is still my favorite fire starting method. It's a lot of fun, it's pretty easy, but it takes a lot of technique. So let's talk about how it works. It's really about finesse. You want to strike the steel lightly against the edge of the stone to shave a tiny piece of steel off and make a spark. Don't hit the rock and the steel together. Just gently strike them. The char cloth goes on top of the stone, not on the bottom, because as you shave the steel off to create a spark, the spark flies up. All right, let's put all this together and see how it works. I have here my tinder bundle, which consists of basswood bark, birch bark, cattail fluff, and some chaga. Don't worry, we are going to do a video on how to make tinder bundles later. And then you'll see here I just have some sticks. I'm going to do what's called a stick bundle fire lay, which is a really lazy way to start a fire. But I just want to show you how this whole thing works. And again, don't worry, we will do a video on fire lays. So as you saw, we're going to set this char cloth right on top of the cutting edge of our flint. It goes on top because the sparks travel up. And I'm going to strike down on this rock and get an ember into this char cloth, and then we'll make our fire. Here, let's do it. It's not always that easy. So my char cloth is now going to go into my tinder bundle, and I'm going to make it into a taco. I'm blowing gently, and I'm trying to get that chaga to ignite. It's a little interesting because my tinder bundle's wet from the snow, so let's see what happens. All right, we've got fire. So I'm gonna set this on my little platform, and I'm just gonna put some birch bark on top. And then I'm just gonna put this little handful of sticks right on top of that. And we've got fire. This is now a functional fire, so I can warm my hands, because like I said, it's really cold out. Do you know how to work with flint and steel? Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what your experience has been. Let me know what your favorite fire starting method is. Let me know what other videos you might like to see. If you know anyone that you think might find value in this video, please share it with them. Otherwise, we appreciate your time. We appreciate your subscriptions. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.